So, this is a little bit of summer solstice celebration. I got a candle and I got the Michael's dagger and the golden chalice and the incense going here. And it's a dragon day today. That's how it feels for me. So I have my small little dragons here with me. And here we have what I take out when I work with the dragons. The fire dragon is my absolute favorite here, and those two ones there, that one and that one. So that's the dragons of earth, fire, earth, and water. The energies has been quite weird today. Everything is happening at once, and I've been on the phone with the IT company and so on, and there's a lot of struggle there. And but I did the magic this morning in the midday. So now I'm just focusing in on the last that I will have to do tonight. So I've had these dreams for a couple of nights now that are reoccurring. And I know this is not what I am able to practice, but what somebody else might be, since I've been dreaming about the catatonic children, the children who are shocked so that they can't speak, they don't move. The only ones I've seen in real life he's been catatonic for 8 years, no improvement. They just lay there and stare into the wall and don't move, and they are also from war. But I had these dreams about the children that their souls are sort of trapped in the mid-between energetically somehow, so they are not in their body and not really somewhere else either. So, and the angels pass through these realms, but then there's the thing that since there are good energy workers out there who knows how to handle this, and I'm not one of them, but since they come reoccurring and it is solstice now, so I thought I have to talk about it. And I've been trying to search on internet for news, and that's the strange thing with the fake news going on. We are bombarded with all these that Russia winning or Ukraine winning, or there is something in Africa happening and Yemen and all over the world, and they don't always show the right numbers, as I think in Ukraine when they ask for new tanks or new artillery or guns, every time they need a new tank, what happened to the crew that were operating the tank? Yes, they are dead. So when you start to add up how many tanks do they have, and you add up how many people's lives have been lost in those items, then the numbers don't add up. And I haven't seen this far anything about the catatonic children. Or there's some sort of children's hospital out there that I don't know about that specializes on the children and those who are so terrified that they can't speak, eat, move, the catatonic state. And since the dreams has occurred 3 nights in a row, I can't let it go. I just have to ask you for help here. I've heard people, but that was about 30 years ago, who could go into the realms of when people were disabled or in coma and work with them. And the news, they always show this, either they are victims or they are victorious. And that's where it don't add up, since there are all these normal people in between from every side of the war. There are those who are affected, can't move, can't drink, can't think, can't do anything, and they can't tell their story or go public. So they are maybe in a tent somewhere getting some basic needs met. Somebody tube feeds them, but that's about all. And so it is really a question of what we can do for them except for praying and sending out angels to help. So that is really feeling heavy on the heart today. But it was very clear that I should just ask for help with this subject, since there are so many talented people out there and I might not even know their name, and I don't know how to use the internet, as you all know. So I've been searching Al Jazeera, the German news, the Ukrainian news, Finnish news, the Scandinavian news, and American news and Israeli news, and I can't find it, and Australian news, and I can't find any reports on this, and I don't get in any channels of the African news, so I can't really get in the information I would like to there. So what can we do for them? There is the moral question: are they kept alive? Since somebody wants to do research and write a book about catatonic children or people who are in shock and can't communicate, and they are being used like guinea pigs, or are there real institutions that really help them and try different methods to connect to them and if they are coming back? Since the only experience I have is that 8 years no movement, tube fed with a drip in the vein, in a bed, they don't move, terrible sores from the mattress. They don't react to any contact. If you touch them, they are just like corpses there. So I like the experience in real connection to that, but in the dream there was a hope, since there was just like that there are openings to that world where the cataton, they are just like asleep in some realm there. I don't know the name of that, not really in the astral since they are active. There is some in between, not the underworld and not up, but there is somewhere where they are. And they can be contacted somehow. So if you talk about it with yourselves, if there is a healing ritual that people can participate in, about, please leave a link below. But they are included in my daily prayers every day. And I don't choose the country to country. In that case, I don't like invasion and cruelty, but I also am not stupid, so I know that the cruelty happens from both sides. So, and if you face to the facts in a war-ridden country, even by their own country folk, if somebody goes against the norm and there's a war going on, the aggression is huge, and the aggression comes from fear. So if somebody steals a loaf of bread, he might be murdered for that case by his own family members, and that's the real face of war. And then there are the assaults and all the babies that are going to be born. Since the man lives from the primal instinct, and they can't switch it off since they are in such a terrible state. So there is a lot of things that happens that hasn't even reached the news yet. So a lot of children having children, And so we have to start to prepare somehow to get the message out that that's not their fault. But there is that we just need to reach out and trying to connect the news from all over the world where we are and see if there are some healers who are doing something online maybe, or if there is a hospital doing something online. Since there are no results to be found, not in Sweden anyway. They've been only in treatment since the war. Was it when they come from so different many countries, refugees here, but from something, and they just lie there. They are in a hospital room, no visits, tube fed, no activities. Of course, they don't respond, but that's as far as I can dig. What is going on? They are not in a mental hospital since they don't move, so I don't really know where to start to even search for them. They are not capable of doing any harm, and you can have 8 people in a room and somebody just changes their diapers once a day, or hopefully at least 6-8 times a day, and gives them food once a day, and the water in drip. But I just got the vision that somebody can reach out and go into that realm, and if you know the name of the realm, and I will ask I've already called all the Shem today, and Denokian, and the archangels, but I will do a final call with the 22 angels tonight. So I will raise this once more, and trying to. There are these small openings where you can enter through, and they are opening right now in one way, so that we can start acting and starting to researching. It doesn't matter how we do it. If one is good with a computer and can find information, that's partaking in the magic. And if somebody knows how to do healing really well, that's one part of the magic. So if you tie those things together, and whatever you are good at and join that, that's when the real power comes from, to draw in the real life and light to help them. And so this wasn't so upbeat summer solstice as I thought it would be, but it was that I just had to talk about it, and it's the Phoenix rising year, so now it's been a half a year, and the sun is most powerful today in this hemisphere. In south there is winter solstice, so we have time, and I think that somebody who can visualize and really knows what they are doing energetically and are a master at that, they know how they can go out and reach and help them. I keep on asking, requesting angels to go over there and help them, give them comfort, keep them safe and so on. But then there's that another type of when you can enter in, like the old shamans did, when you can enter in and coach their souls to where they belong. And that's not something I've ever done. So, but somebody of you will do it naturally. You just enter into it and feel something and can go in there. It often happens spontaneously and naturally and with a little practice. When it's meant for you to do something, then it's meant for you to do something, and you are unstoppable in that way. So never lose hope. But my prayer today goes for all those unseen, unheard victims all over the world. In every country, there are traffickers in every country. There are homeless. There are all those people. There are people who are kept in jail, who don't belong there. There is so much, or in a bad marriage, or in a, there are so many situations, or by kidnappers and gangs, and so this is like a start to break free summer solstice feeling for me, that let's take a sword and cut through these realms and let's go out there and actively try to do something. I don't have my own old sword anymore, and it weighed 35 kilos. I wouldn't have been able here, but here is Michael's. I have to pretend this is a sword, but here is Michael. So I cut open the veils with that one tonight, and it's sharp. So I will go in for full ritual today, praying for all the angels to go and help all those in need who are in shock or lethargic or catatonic or whatever they are called today. United we stand, divided we fall. And that is, I think, the message for the whole summer solstice here. Don't give up. It's always darkest before dawn. There is so much energy going on, so it's when I opened up before this video, I just could feel all these different really powerful energies around, so it's difficult to focus right now. But and then we have the equinoxes, so there is something very special here, and since it's the beginning of winter solstice in the south and we have the summer solstice, and when we join from all over the world, we get those points to really do our energy work or prayers or magic or whatever spiritual part we are, to help those who are called. And don't forget the nature suffers, all those chemicals and the tanks. Where a tank goes, all the roots and the grass and the mycorrhiza of the fungus, everything is destroyed. It usually takes 15 years to even start to rebuild, so the earth itself needs a rest. And the trees and all the silliness. So the message is, God bless you all, and let's do whatever we can from whatever religion we come from or pantheon, and do whatever we can to unite and send the best side of us upwards towards working to change that the people in power don't want to change. When there are overpopulation and there are a lot of them, they get really cheap people to hire, and there's the economical downside to everything. So war fills the pockets of the rich, and that has always been the case, so let's not hope that this doesn't happen this time and we stop it right there before they start using all those who lost their homes, and so that they get at least minimum pay wherever they are. And they are not treated like slaves, like many countries put them in like a refugee camp, and then you can't get out of it. You are stuck in the bureaucracy of the country and you have to obey every rule, and you can start your own business, or you have to learn a language to start a business, and all these things, even though people can work around the internet and so on. And one thing with how the military, I know quite a few who worked in the military intelligence, and both from Finland and from abroad that were acquainted, they met up sometimes, and they always follow the economic, how the economy goes. So they see that when there's money coming into a country, even if it's an unknown country, or money going out of a country. They know there is a revolution coming. And when the money fluctuates to, let's say, New Guinea suddenly or something like that, there is that quick surge of money or the outpour of money from an area. That's where there is. So the military agencies always look for that. They follow the money all over the world and predict. And many of the so-called rebellions, they don't even make to the news. They are trying to make a coup or something, and then they are hushed down and it stays off the radar. So you who are internet savvy, keep your eyes out, and you're free to link or whatever is it called in the comments. I do my best in reading all the comments, unless YouTube has removed them. So I will check them out. There is so much power now, so I don't. But there is that yin and that yang, that darkness and that light, and it really, I can really feel it today. That's why I got my dragons here with me as well, and they are active in the nature now. So have a magical, magical day, and may all blessings reach all over the world on this magical, magical solstice. Bye for now.